Welcome to Knit Pickers PEI in beautiful downtown Mayfield. Downtown Mayfield? Yep, it's a small rural community about 5 kilometers south of Cavendish, a couple of kilometers west of North Rustico on the north shore of Prince Edward Island. Now today I'm going to show you a beautiful textured stitch that is a slipped rib stitch. Now when you knit this piece as a flat piece, there's not a single purl stitch involved, so it's super easy, super fast. When you do knit it in the round, like I did for this toque, there is purling involved, but it is a very simple stitch, and I think you're really going to enjoy giving this a try. It's stretchy, it's cushy, beautiful and warm. So, shall we get started? So to knit the slip rib stitch, what I'm going to do is I'm knitting a flat piece to start. And when you're knitting a flat piece, you're casting on in multiples of 4 plus 3 additional stitches. So in this case, for the little sample swatch, I've cast on a total of 11 stitches. So I've got 2 multiples of 4, which bring us to 8 stitches plus 3. So there's my 11. And it's only a 2-row repeat, so it's really easy to do. Row 1, we knit our first 3 stitches. Oops. Make sure I'm grabbing the right yarn here. And then you bring your yarn forward as if to purl in between your 2 needles, but then you slip that stitch purlwise. So just inserting your needle as if you were going to purl and slip that off the needle, and then you take your yarn and bring it back to knit position. So you don't purl that stitch, you're just slipping it. Knit 3 more stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Bring your yarn forward as if to purl. Slip that stitch purlwise. Bring the yarn back in between your needles to knit position, and you would carry on with that sequence, knitting 3, bringing your yarn forward, slipping the stitch purlwise, bringing your yarn back to knit position, and knitting 3, and slipping that stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, and then bringing it back to knit position until you reach your final 3 stitches on your flat piece, and you just knit those 3. And then on row 2, again, on a flat piece, there's no purl stitches involved at all. So on row 2, we just knit that first stitch. Once again, bring that yarn forward into purl position. Slip your stitch purlwise. Bring that yarn back into knit position. Knit 3 stitches. Bring the yarn forward into purl position. Slip the stitch purlwise. And then back around into knit position. Knit 3 stitches. Bring your yarn forward as if to purl. Slip that stitch purlwise, back, and knit the final stitch. And that is the sequence. So when you're knitting a flat piece, you begin and you end with 3 knit stitches. When you're knitting on row 2 in a flat piece, you begin and end your sequence with 1 knit stitch. And it is as simple as that. Now I'm just going to re-knit row number 1, which would be the same sequence if I was working a flat piece or if I was working in the round. However, when you're working in the round, you're casting on multiples of 4, period. So say for instance, if you're knitting a hat, you would cast on 100 stitches, which is 25 multiples of 4. You don't need those 3 additional knit stitches. And row 1 on your circular piece is knit 3, bring the yarn forward, slip your stitch purlwise, bring your yarn back, knit 3, bring your yarn forward, slip your stitch purlwise, just like we did for the flat piece. But row 2 is knit a little bit differently. So we're just going to pretend that this particular piece is being knit in the round. So row 1, I've knit 3, slipped purlwise with the yarn in front, brought the yarn back, knit 3, etc., all the way to the end of my 4-stitch sequence. On row 2, on knitting in the round, my yarn is to the front. I purl this stitch. And then what I'm going to do is I slip the stitch purlwise, but I want to bring my yarn to the back of the knitting. So I bring the yarn to knit position, slip this stitch purlwise, bring my yarn forward, and purl 3 stitches. So once again, on the circular knitting, row 2, I have brought my yarn to the back, but I slip the stitch purlwise, bring the yarn back forward to my purling position, and I purl 3 stitches, and it's really easy to just slide that off and immediately the yarn is to the back. Slip that stitch purlwise, bring my yarn back to the front, and continue purling through the sequence. And that is all there is to knitting the slip rib stitch. So I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial. Give it a try. It's a fun, fast, and pretty stitch to do. If you need some inspiration, my pattern is called the Slip Rib Stitch Toucan Cowl. It will be available on Ravelry as well as a download version on my website. And in the meantime, happy knitting!